I am Brett Eldredge. I grew up listening to a wide range of everything. Like you said, Ray Charles, Sinatra, and then I would, Garth Brooks. I remember one of the first albums I ever had was Garth Brooks' Greatest Hits, and it was a crazy spread of music. I got into Brooks and Dunn. It was all over the place because I listened to whatever my family was listening to. My grandfather loved Sinatra, so I listened to that. It was kind of all came together all at once. Growing up, the Eagles were always on in my basement. My mom and dad would sing along to them, but like, I got to check this stuff out. And it was just kind of, it's hard not to like the Eagles. So it's stuff like that. It was just, there's any kind of music I love. I like all different kinds of music. And I think that all fed into what I do today. But when it came down to it, I was from a town of 8,838 people, to be exact. And it's a tiny, tiny town that had small town values, and right there in the Midwest and in Paris, Illinois. And it was country. It was cornfields and cow pastures and hardworking people. And that's why I fell in love with country music. And that kind of brought it all together to make what music I make today. I was living in Chicago right in my first couple years of college, and my brother lived up there, and we're really close, so I wanted to move up there, and I loved Chicago. I grew up a Chicago sports fan and just loved the city. And I was singing up there. I was singing like with big bands and stuff like that, and I was loving it. But my true love was country music, and I started looking online and looking at schools in Nashville and saying, I need to go down there and look at it. I need to go check it out. I want to get right in the middle of it, because otherwise I can't do it from here. I don't know how. And so I transferred to Middle Tennessee State my junior year of college, and I would drive back and forth to Nashville every day. It was about a 30-some minute drive every day, and I would just write songs and sometimes cut out of class early. And my teachers were really cool about it. And the day I was supposed to graduate, I was playing a songwriter festival in Key West, Florida, and they sent my diploma in the mail. So I guess it all worked out. Wow, that's good. Yeah, after I signed my record deal about 5 years ago, and it was the kind of thing where it definitely didn't happen overnight, but I learned so much about myself. If it would have happened right away, if I would have had that hit song that just hit right when I signed my record deal, I would not know who I was now. And I don't think I'd be sitting here on this couch talking about winning, CMA New Artist of the Year and having #1 songs, because I just wouldn't have been prepared. And so as tough as it was, and as many restless nights as I had, and long days of trying to figure out how the heck do I make this happen, it just made it that much sweeter. And it's cool to go out there and have crowds sing back your songs. And Beat of the Music was my last hit. It was the most played song of the year last year, and to have that kind of recognition and have people support me like that and want to hear a song that you wrote so much that they play it more than any other song, I could have never even imagined that. And so I'm living every day by day, and getting up on that stage and singing and enjoying seeing those smiles on their face out there in the crowd, and hopefully they keep them turned on, and we'll keep singing to them. I love the fact that you get all these different experiences and learning experiences from different people you tour with. I mean, Taylor Swift was an eye-opener for me, because I was so blown away by how incredibly gifted she was, but also how smart she was about just her whole touring, from how she treated her fans to how she treated everybody in her crew. And I mean, every day she would roll in, they'd have all these it was the red tour, so they're all red semis and everything was red, and it was all her brand. It's Taylor Swift. It's only unique to her. No one else does that, and that's a true artist to me. And so I learned a lot about treating your fans well, and the way she did, and that's why she's got the whole world following her, and then you go to Keith Urban, and you get to see him rock out on stage, and as soon as he starts playing that guitar, opens his mouth and starts talking in that Australian voice, or starts singing this really raspy, cool voice that he has, the girls go crazy. And I was like, I want to learn that skill as well. So different things like that, you learn so much. And now I'm going with Darius Rucker, who is just an incredible artist, and he's had 2 whole careers from it. I mean, he's doing amazing things in country music, and coming from Hootie and the Blowfish, he sings he sings those songs still, and people go nuts, and he sings his new song, and they go even crazier. And it's like, that's quite a career, and I want to learn from his career, and I want to be able to do this for a long time, and those are the people you learn from. Mean to Me. This is my first real deep lyric romantic song single out there on the radio for me, and it was something that I wanted a very, I've had my first couple songs were, beat of the music, falling in love with the beat of the music and all that, but this is very poignant and pointed at that one girl that you want to sing it to. And when I wrote this song, I was looking for that girl. And I guess in some senses I sit there in the crowd, singing to the crowd every night, and I still singing to that girl that I'm imagining in my mind. And if I can mean as half as much as what you mean to me, then everything's perfect in the world. So I just tried to paint the picture of the beautiful things in life, the simple things that mean the most, and describe it that way and try to do it a little bit different. It is the craziest feeling knowing that you have to make your second record after, how long it took to work on that first album and how many songs I wrote. And I'm going to have songs on this album that I wrote years ago, because you had to choose 12 songs out of hundreds of songs I've written. And as soon as we released the last record, Bring You Back, my very first record, it was I was already writing for this album. And so, because I knew it would come up way quicker, it was a couple of years, but it came so fast. And now we're I'm over halfway done with the album recorded, and I've got all these songs, which feels great. And I've never been more comfortable in the studio, and the pressure's off, and the fact that, I feel more comfortable with having hits behind, under my belt, and now I have to deliver more, but at least I got that confidence, especially even more now, and I can make the music that I really love, and that's what I'm doing. Learning from people like Whisper and Bill Anderson and the guys that have paved the road for all of us, is, icons. These are icons. Like Willie Nelson. I toured with Willie Nelson when I first started, and I didn't really have any music hardly out, but I got to go open acoustically for Willie Nelson, and I was just blown. I learned so much from that guy that, he would stay for 30 minutes after his show and sign until he couldn't sign any longer, and that was, it's so, some people, I do that every show now. I sign until I can't sign any longer, and they kick me off stage or something. There's a reason why Willie Nelson is, near 80 years old, and he's still doing it and still living on the road, on the road again, playing music with his friends. That's his thing, but he loves that. And then I love this, and I want to do this for a long time. So guys like, Willie and Bill Anderson, who taught me, he's like, just make sure to not look too far ahead and enjoy what's going on right now, because he said, I wish I would have sat back and really just took in every day and how special things were going on right now, and not worried about, what's the next hit going to be. Just love what's going on right now. And hearing that from a guy who's been down and done so many different things, that means a lot, and that makes me sit back and really try to take every day one by one and really appreciate it all. When I got to be nominated for the CMA Awards, and the CMA is just it's a big part of our world, and to be nominated was a crazy special thing. But when all of it came around to the cameras all of a sudden being in our faces, and this is the moment of, they're going to announce the person that wins New Artist of the Year, and I'm sitting there like, okay, here it is, and you're nominated for months, and you have to, all the build up to that, and now I'm sitting here, this is the moment, and they announce my name, and my manager and I looked at each other, and I kind of did that, and then we looked back again, and we just looked around, and everybody's staring at us. In the whole building, I was like, they really did say my name. And I literally blacked out pretty much. Like, I was so in shock that I don't even remember what I said on stage. I just tried to speak from the heart, I guess. But afterwards, I've watched it probably 100 times now. But that was a really special moment, and though it's not an overnight thing, and I've been singing since I was 4 years old. So in that aspect, I'm not a new artist, but in this world, I am, because, like I said, I'm in my 20s, and I want to be doing this, till I'm 100 if I can. I want to be Tony Bennett, like I saw him on the Grammys the other day, and he was singing with Lady Gaga, and he's still got that swagger and that like, I want to be like Tony Bennett. I want to be that cool someday, So when I grow up, I want to be like Tony Bennett. But that was definitely one of the most special moments for me.